Unfortunately for me, this video is not clickbait. We owe $324,103. What's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Lo and I make videos about my experience with infertility and with debt payoff. Today I am finally sharing with you guys our full debt total, how much we owe in student loans and credit card debt, most of which is student loans, and that is $324,103 as of October 1st, 2020. Now for the last few months on my channel, I have been sharing with you our debt payoff for our credit cards. We owed around $30,000 on our credit cards and we worked on paying that off over the last 9 months, and we are almost done paying off that debt, but that is just a small portion of what we owe. The rest of what we owe is student loans, and that is a ridiculous number. I shared in my last video that I went to college and then I went to law school, and my husband also went to college and then he got his MBA, his master's in business, and so between the two of us we have been to a lot of years of school. It's a total of I think 13 years of school after high school, so obviously it's very expensive and we took out loans to pay for most of it. So that has accumulated to a really large number. We are finally this year working on paying that amount down. At the end of 2019, we sat down and we looked at everything and we decided as soon as January 1st, 2020 hit, we were going to attack our debts full on. We wanted to get this amount paid down as quickly as possible, and so we can move on to other financial goals in our life and just get the stress of this debt out of our life. And so that's what we've done so far this year. I'm going to show you guys our debt spreadsheet in just a second that lists all of our debts, where we started as of January 2020 and where we are now. We did have a really good year so far. We have made a lot of progress compared to other years where our debt has just been going up and up and up. This year it actually went down. We did make a big dent in it, but we have a long way to go. So actually our real starting debt number is actually even higher than that number significantly because we have paid off a lot this year. So I'll show you guys that right now. Okay, so this is our debt payoff spreadsheet that I put together for 2020. I've been tracking all of our debts since the beginning of 2020. You can see here at the top, our debt-free goal date is August 2024. Now that is a stretch goal. Like, I don't know if we're going to be able to pay all this off by that date, but that is the date my daughter will start kindergarten, and so that is kind of a significant event in our lives that we would really like to have our debt paid off by then. Now you can see here in this column A, I have listed all of our debts at the beginning of January. We had a Best Buy credit card, a Citi credit card, my car, which is a Nissan, my husband's undergraduate loan, credit card loan, my husband's graduate school loan, and my graduate school loans. So I've listed all the interest rates here so you can see. And we started off paying off the debts smallest first, and then we kind of skipped around after that, so I'll show you guys that. But our smallest debt was $977 all the way up to my student loans, which is $210,885. Okay, so what I did is for each month I put the starting balance of all the debts so we know what our total debt was at the beginning of the month. So really our total debt number at its highest was $369,673. It has gone down since then, and now it is at $324,000, but January 1st, 2020, that was the total. So each month what I've done is I've tracked the number of payments we've made and the amounts, and so I've entered those into this payments row each month, and then I've looked at how much principal was actually paid down on the loans versus how much went towards interest, and whatever the starting balance was minus the principal amount is how I got this new balance for our loans at the end of each month. So as of January 31st or February 1st of 2020, our new balance was $368,287, and we had paid off a total of $1,386 for the month of January going into February 1st. So I tracked our debts each month this way, and you can see, we did make some significant progress in March. We paid off our first debt. We got our second debt down to just $300, and we made a good dent in my car loan. And then by April, we had 3 debts paid off and only 4 more to go. It was the 3 smallest that we had paid off and the 4 biggest we had left, but still it felt good to have, a smaller number of payments each month that you're making because it's just, less complicated. And then after that, instead of attacking this student loan next, my husband's undergraduate student loans, even though it was the next smallest, our credit card loan right here, you can see the interest rate was 11.87%, and that's about half of what it was when those credit cards were just on credit cards. We consolidated it into from a few different cards into this one loan, and so the interest rate went from like 23% or so down to a little under 12%. So we were saving on interest, but that interest rate was about double our next highest interest rate of 5%. So we decided to do this loan next instead of doing the next smallest, just to get it out of the way since we were paying a lot more interest. And so that's what we were planning to do. Then coronavirus happened, and we really decided to just pay minimums on our debts for the months of April, May, and June. So we really just paid around $3,000. For some reason, we paid a little bit more in May, but we just basically paid the minimums for these 3 months, and we were sticking a lot of money into savings because we weren't sure what was going to happen with our jobs and everything, so that's why we did that. So then July rolled around, and we decided, okay, everything looks stable with our jobs, so we're going to take a lot of the money we put into savings in April, May, and June and throw it towards our debt. And so we paid a total of $9,545 in the month of July, which was a huge amount of debt. That's the biggest amount of payments we made in any month in 2020, or probably ever in our lives. And that all went towards this credit card loan. And so you can see from July to August, the balance dropped significantly. Well, the whole payment didn't go to the credit card loan. We still had to make minimums on the other loans, but all of the extra above and beyond the normal like $3,300 we were paying went towards the credit card loan. So yeah, our minimums every month is about this $33.45, and so anytime the amount's over that, it's because we're making extra payments. So we paid $9,545 in the month of July. $8,000 of that went to principal, which brought our debt total down to $344,483. In August, we also put even more from savings towards our debts, and so we put $14,684 total towards debt. Again, the bulk of that went towards that credit card loan, and so you can see from August to September, it went from $21,000 down to $9,837. And then in September, we didn't go quite as big because we didn't really throw anything from savings, but we did have good income in September, so we put $8,293 towards debt. $7,125 of that went towards principal, which brought our debt total down to its current balance of $324,103. So you can see I have this row down here that's the total debt paid off. What this is each month it adds to whatever we've paid previously. So in January we paid $1,386 total. In February, total for the year, we had paid $4,700. March, we had paid $11,000 for the year. April, $12,000, almost $13,000, and so on. And so year to date, as of October 1st of 2020, we have paid off $45,570, which is way more than I ever thought we could pay off in 1 year, and the year isn't even over, first of all. So that's something I'm super, super proud of. I can't believe that we paid off that much debt when for years we were just accumulating more debt, and I just didn't know how we were ever going to get that number to go down. But, we figured out a bunch of things with our finances this year, and so I'm really glad that we were able to pay that much towards debt, and I'm excited to see what that total looks like at the end of the year. Now, at the very end, you'll see I do have year-to-date totals over here. So we have paid $58,942 in 2020 towards debt, and only $45,570 of that went towards principal, and $13,372 did go towards interest. That's a really hard number to swallow, but that's just what it is. The faster we pay off our debts, the less interest we'll pay over time, so that's definitely part of the incentive. But interest is unavoidable for us at this point. Our student loans are private loans, so we do not have interest paused on our student loans right now like a lot of people do. So yeah, the interest is accruing, so we are still working on paying on our debts as fast as possible. In addition to this debt, we also have a mortgage and a home equity line of credit, but those two are less than our house is worth. So assuming the house market doesn't drop too much at the point when we're ready to sell, those should be paid off completely, and hopefully we'll actually get some money out of the house. So I have not included these on the debt payoff, because if we decided to sell our house at some point, then those debts would just go away. So really the debts on this spreadsheet are the debts that are like the bad debts that are really making our net worth a negative number. So if you saw my last video, you know that this credit card loan right here is something we are planning to pay off in the month of October. So hopefully I can turn these green for the rest of the year, because this will be paid off completely, and then we'll just be left with my husband's undergraduate loans, his graduate school loans, and my law school loans. Now, I had hoped to pay off this loan in 2020 as well, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to be have maybe $5,000 or so of balance as of December 31st, and that will pay off the balance of that loan in January. So basically after January, we'll just be working on these two student loans going forward. The other thing that I really wanted to do by January 1st, 2020 is get this number to less than 300,000. Also, I think that's not going to happen by the end of the year, but I'm hoping that we can get there by the end of January of 2021. So that will be exciting to see this 3 right here turn to a 2 for the first time in a very long time. After we pay off these 2 loans, right here, and we're only left with these 2 student loans, I think what we're going to do is just pay them down at the same time rather than pay the smaller one first and then mine. I'd hate to pay $100,000 and still have like my entire student loan balance left minus whatever the minimum payments are. I feel like emotionally it's going to be easier to pay these down at the same time, and my husband and I both be done with our student loans. So whatever extra payments we're making, we'll put 1/3 towards his and 2/3 towards mine probably. I'm not exactly sure how it's going to go. The interest rates on both of our student loans are very similar, so it's not like we're going to save a lot of money one way or the other paying one first. And it would just be nice to have both of us be done at the same time and be able to celebrate that together. We are married, so our money all goes into one pot, but still, like I said, there's the emotional piece of each of these loans being attached to our individual education, so it will be nice to have them paid off together, and then we can just be done once and for all with all of our student loan debt. So as you can see, we've made some great progress in 2020. We've paid off, what is it? $45,570, and we still have 3 months left to go this year. But that has not even gotten us to a debt total of less than $300,000. So while that's huge progress, and I'm really proud of all the work we've done this year, it is just a small piece of this very, very large amount of debt that we have. Looking at it is like really upsetting, and it's been sitting there for a number of years, and we've made little progress here or there, but then we'd buy a new car, or we'd put something on a credit card, or different things. And at some point, I'm gonna make a whole video about exactly how we got to have this much debt, but for now, in today's video, I'm just telling you, this is our debt total, this is what we're working on, and we've got a little less than 4 years to get this all paid off. I mean, that sounds like a long time, and I'm hoping we can do it faster than that, but with that amount of debt, it's really hard to predict how quickly it's gonna get paid off, because our income can change, our expenses can change, life can change, and we are really committed to not taking on any new debt, and we have not taken on one single thing of new debt in 2020, and I am really confident that we won't going forward until the point where we like, you know, sell our house and buy a new house, but that's different. That's like house debt. But it's really hard to know like how fast we're gonna pay this off, because projecting out 4 years of your life of what your income and expenses are gonna be is just basically impossible. Also, we're gonna try to have another baby at some point in the near future, so there's medical costs associated with that. We struggled to get pregnant last time, and there may be medical costs associated with just trying to get pregnant, and then pregnancy, and then additional childcare. So all that stuff is kind of a question mark, but no matter what, as long as our debt is going down each month instead of going up or staying the same, then I will be happy with our progress because we are moving in the right direction. I have been watching a lot of YouTube videos on paying off debt, and there's not that many people on here that have this much debt, and I don't say that in like a braggy way. Obviously, it's not something to brag about. There are some who did have a lot of debt. I know I watched some of Asia Dang's videos, and she had like 200,000 or so of debt, and that was just one person. We have 2 people. So I know there's other people out there that have this much debt, or you know, have a lot of debt and student loans. And so, you know, when I started making videos about infertility, I did it to help myself cope with the situation, but also to share my story so that if other people were in my similar situation, they would know that they're not alone and they can do this too, and we can get through it together. So if you are in a situation where you have just a mountain of debt like I do, and you want to subscribe, I'd love to have you follow along. We can pay off this debt together, stay focused, stay motivated, and I'm just excited to one day make the video that is just titled I'm debt free and celebrate with you guys all the progress that I've made. So that's it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to follow along and see me pay down this giant number all the way down to 0. And I will see you guys soon in my next video. Bye.